We're back, baby!
Finally, back in our rightful places.
Yep. Welcome to another episode. TaviRadio Underground. Sonic. Okay.
Or if you want to be technical, guys, this is season 3 of TaviRadio Set AM.
AKA TaviRadio Underground until we can get the radio station back, which has been playing the soundtrack to GTA 5 for a month now.
No, he changed it. He's been playing GTA 4 soundtrack now, which I kind of like prefer.
Okay, as long as you like it. As soon as he gets to San Andreas and Vice City, I'm gold.
Exactly. Well, boys, a lot of things have happened. Some good.
A lot bad. Yeah.
And some meh.
Yeah, a lot of meh. More bad than meh, actually. Bad outweighs all of them, actually. So, for those of you that do not live in our town, do not watch local news, we got exiled from Bumblerville in the final moments of the election when we were pretty much, getting all the stragglers, and everybody got to make their little speeches to see if they could sway the stragglers one way or another. By the way, rest in peace, Jim Wimbledon and your boys. We'll get into that in a little bit. They went out like real men. In fact, I think a lot of the townspeople were better off of voting for him after their heroic acts during that takeover.
Well, you lose a lot, you win nothing. That's how it really goes sometimes.
Yeah, but honestly, if they... Man, I guess there's no way they could have won that. Well, maybe they would have won that election, but if they managed to live through their heroic sacrifice, defeat Anboy in that moment, and then still have the polls open, everybody would have voted for him. To have no offense, I would have voted for him. They would have saved our lives if their heroic sacrifice actually worked.
Listen, I like them and all, and they seem like fine people, but I don't trust anybody that says that refers to his coworkers as his boys.
They were literally his sons. Anyways, so what happened was, final moments of the election, and out of nowhere, Anboy came back with a bunch of local thugs. He apparently, as we'll get into this, he managed to sway the local gang members into one unified crime syndicate, swooped in, stole our election, exiled me and Tav. Well, exiled you. He let me stay in town. But he pretty much exiled you.
Yeah, but he kept the difference between you and another werewolf around town.
Yeah, he gave up. He's just like, whatever, I don't care. So he exiled you. He put Peachy in the pound, and then decided, I like this dog. I'm going to adopt you. So now poor Peachy is in Anboy's clutches. And all right, we'll get to the heroic sacrifice. Well, actually, hold on.
To be fair,
he did you like you did him. He grabbed you, put you in the back of he tried to put you in a trunk, you wouldn't fit, so they put you in the back of a pickup truck, tied up, and you kept yelling, "These restraints won't hold me!" At least that's what everybody in town kept saying. And then they said you started to cry, and then they said you got really mad again, and said, "These restraints won't hold me," and you started to try to get up, and then you fell out of the truck. And then those thugs had to pick you up, throw you back in, and say, "These restraints won't hold me." And then you started to cry again, and then they didn't hear anything because they took you out of the place. And then you said that you fought heroically, but they still subdued you. And Anboy showed up in another car, and he said, "So here's the plan. Just like you did me. No disrespect, but here's $20, and get in my town, and I want to see you again."
If Amboy is telling people lies that he gave me $20, and then to set the record straight, he gave me $7.25 from his pants. And mind you, he reached down and grabbed this from within his zipper.
Blah. What?
Yeah. He had $7 in his pocket, and he was like, "Hold on, I got one more thing." Then he unzipped his pants and pulled out a quarter and handed it to me.
Disgusting. I'm disappointed.
Exactly.
So, yeah. Yeah, and while you were doing that, before you could do that, Jim Wimbledon and his boys, his son Henry, his son Jim, his youngest son Bobby, along with his nephews.
Achilles.
Along with his nephews Achilles, Theseus, and Perseus, and his brother Castor. They showed up. Apparently, Jim's real name is Pollux, but sounds too foreign, so he renamed himself Jim. And he also has a son named Jim.
Well, the son is technically not Jim Jr., but to be technical, everybody called him Jim, but his legal name is Pollux Wimbledon.
Yeah. But he has a son named Jim Jr., though. So that's Pollux Jr.?
Technically, yeah.
Okay. Well, anyways, Jim and his family, or at least all the men in his family who run that concrete yard, decided they weren't gonna stand idly by and not do anything. So they leapt into action. They all pulled out their concrete breaking hammers that they just carry on with them. Yeah, I guess that explains why they kind of walked around with a weird thing, with like a weird limp, because they had their hammers stuffed down their pant leg. So they all collectively unzipped their pants, pulled out these like sledgehammers and started fighting back, but they had guns. Well, yeah, they had guns. I was gonna say I think only Anboy had a gun, but turns out they all had guns, and they died heroes.
It's one of the worst massacres this town has ever seen, and I didn't get to witness it. I was still in the outskirts of town. But
no, they pulled you at that point. I was still in the building. They were pulling you into the. I think they were trying to fit you inside one of the cars. Hey, I can just imagine it now. Hey, boss, this guy don't fit in no trunk, and we got one of those old cars in over here.
Use the pickup. Here's the key.
We could just toss him over.
Exactly. Just put him in the pickup truck, in the truck bed.
All right. Is that what he said to you?
That's what I heard. These guys are as dumb as rocks. They listen to him.
All right, hold on. I gotta confirm. Are the townspeople pulling my leg, or did you actually cry during the ride?
I didn't cry during the ride. I was more or less angry. Angry tears.
All right. So yeah, and that's so in the interim between that, I can tell you right now, for me, since Anboy took over the radio station, that took my main means of hobby out of the way. Since I'm in between, I of course directed Tarumo the musical, and which was a colossal failure, which is why I waited so long to upload it onto my YouTube channel to see if maybe the people of the internet would have enjoyed an obscure musical.
It was a big hit when you performed it in Schlonzenvakia's.
Oh, they loved it in Schlonzenvakia. Actually, I first performed it in Bumlerville. I got Tarumo's boys, and we did that whole thing. We had to grab the biggest pig he had in order for him to Oh, here's the thing. It's an unauthorized musical of Tarumo's life, based off of his memoir, which I forget the title of. I kind of read it once. I skimmed over it. I had someone else really write it. So
he calls it the Tragedy of Thick.
Yeah.
There's two parts. There's the first part, which is Secret of Suck, and then Tragedy of Thick. You did a little bit of both, because nowadays it's kind of a combination of the two.
Look, I was like I've told Tarumo, I don't eat his boys. In fact, I had one of his boys work with me on the project. He said it was going to be a surprise birthday present for his boss, and I said, that old pig, he deserves it. So he did a lot of it. I did a lot of the stage direction and whatnot. It bombed in Bomberville because Anboy showed up and he got all of his dudes, and he's like, I don't get it. I don't get it. It's a bunch of fucking pigs. It looks stupid. You know what would have been great? You made
GTA musical.
You made a GTA musical. How come there's no GTA musical? Hey, you know what? In this production, let's put a GTA musical on.
So he's been working on that.
Yeah. Then luckily one of his boys took me. I was like, it might work in Czechoslovakia, so we took it there. It's a big fucking hit. Jod, he loves it. He's got the every showing. In fact, he has done no political work. That's why the attacks have been reduced. He's had it on loop to the point where the pigs are the pigs who are in the play are stars in Czechoslovakia. They're getting their own star on the Czechoslovakian Hall of Fame. Or Walk of Fame, rather.
Which is a dirt...
Which they just wrote and like wrote their names and put their things on. But that's John says that's good enough for me. It's more natural this way.
Now the only unfortunate thing is that Peter himself was not able to portray his own role or view the musical. Sadly, he's somewhere according to Terumo.
I thought he was gonna be dead.
No, according to Saber and Terumo, he's not dead. He's more or less stuck with Boston Saber.
Okay, that's good for him.
But not out of wants, but out of circumstance.
Weird. So, after I saw the success of that, I decided to like start working on Sonic the Hedgehog the musical. But you weren't around, so I thought like I can't make it without him. So I decided to try my hand at stand-up comedy, and did not work. It worked. It killed at the Werewolf Lodge, because I made jokes like, "Hey, you ever notice that when a werewolf drives, he doesn't drive, and when a human drives, he does drive?" And all the werewolves would start howling and laughing at that. And then when I did that joke in town again, like all the townspeople were too afraid to go outside their homes, so the only people going to these stupid things are Boy and his like gangsters, and they're like, "I don't get the joke. Why don't you be more like Jay Leno or David Letterman? You know what? Be more like Howard Stern. Be more like Howard Stern." And then I told him like, "Well, can I record more of my podcast?" It's like, "No, it's not like Howard Stern. It's too fucking boring."
Nothing goes on. You just talk to that fat guy,
and he's not here anymore. And I don't want to hear your voice. I don't want to hear your stupid music at 3 a.m. In fact, I've taken over. You're kicked out. So I just kind of bummed around the house. My wife got very sad and mad at me because I let my fur get all matted, and I grew a depression beard. And then finally, Tav came back into my life, and he's like, I said, "Where have you been, dude?" And I'll let you take it from here.
After he dropped me off in the outskirts of Bumlerville, I decided to do some soul searching by walking over to the old shut-down sugar factory. Stuff that I shut down back in the 90s, but And then I decided to visit the old mausoleum of my predecessor.
Mm-hmm.
The great Tavernello Fazioni.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked up into it, to which I secretly broke in to see.
God damn it!
To see the large man, to find out his body isn't even there. Someone stole Tavernello Fazioni's body.
Or like when those Roman guards opened the tomb and Jesus wasn't there. You think Tavernello's an incarnation of Jesus and walks the earth as we speak doing good deeds? Like at the end of the Bible?
I would like to believe that, and I hope one day...
Now the Bible has an ending and then it has a true ending. The ending is Jesus comes back and he visits his homeboys and he says, "Yo, I'm back and I'm going to go do good deeds." And the rest of the Bible is like Jesus showing up and doing good deeds and people passing the good word on. But the true ending is Revelations.
The Bible's full of a lot of bruh moments.
Yes.
But that's an unbruh moment.
I would say... Well, actually, it's like when Jesus expels all those demons out of that one guy, the Legion.
Yeah.
And then puts all those demons inside the bodies of pigs to get slaughtered. Does Terumo hate Jesus for doing that? Or is Jesus putting all those pigs, all those demons in those slaughtered pigs, what gave pigs sapience in the future?
Here's the thing, when it comes
Saber, I need you to go back in time and figure this out. Are all sapient pigs descendants of those demon-possessed pigs that Jesus that Jesus created and then tried to destroy?
That's only for Saber. We'll let him figure it out.
All right, Saber, let us know. Send us a message. We're gonna try to hook up a Tav hotline. We'll use the Look, we're recording from Tav's second location. His office is big enough, and the acoustics are great in here. So if you have any questions, we'll try to set up the the phone number for the second location as our message center. But yeah, so we pose that question to you, Saber. Go back in time to the biblical times, witness that event, and see if one of those pigs got set free, and that's why we have these pigs, which also explain why they have a weird malevolent nature to all of them, anyways.
Would you? I wouldn't call Truma a malevolent force of nature. He's more of a self-destructive force of nature.
Demons can make people self-destructive.
Yeah, but he's self-destructive to himself.
That's what self-destructive means.
But you know,
if a demon is possessing you, it could possess you to be self-destructive, or it can make you possess you to do evil acts like Peter Gigantus.
Rest in peace, that large lad.
Anyways, so you came back. So you found out that maybe Tavernello is Jesus, or somebody stole his body, or he never died and just dipped out of town. Maybe he realized he wasn't gonna die, and decided like, oh, what am I doing here? Oh, well, my time here is done. I guess I'll move on. Who knows? It's a mystery. Maybe we should maybe there should be a cult around it.
We can make a religion out of that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Anyway, after I visited Tavernello's mausoleum, I decided to visit my uncle down in Jersey and visit my old family home.
Yeah, and how did that go?
Well,
did your uncle yell at you for pussying out in front of this, like, big pussy boy, as he would have called him?
No, he's like, listen, one pussy boy's enough to fight him, enough to take him down, nephew. But when this pussy boy brings a whole army, and you only have a wolf man and a dog and a guy and his boys, I don't blame you for losing that battle.
Fair enough.
And then I visited my dad, and he's still trying to run for pope. Divorced my mom over it.
Wow. Your dad feels that strongly about becoming pope, huh? You know, he could always be a false pope. Or, sorry, an anti-pope.
No, he
wants to be a legit pope, huh?
Yeah.
He could have just been happy being anti-pope, dude.
I don't know. He's a weird guy, but, you know, Father Funkle, as he likes to be called nowadays. Will he ever become pope? I'm not sure about that.
Pope Funkle?
Pope Funkle? I don't know. He says Pope Ron Paul is nothing compared to him.
Well, fair enough.
He prays 3 times an hour, according to him.
What the fuck? Wow. Well, he needs to step up his game then.
Yeah. I don't know. Uncle Tavis tried to talk to him out of it, like, listen, brother, you can't be doing this. Go back to your wife. She misses you. No, and then according to him, it always ends like, no, it's been too long. I've gone too far to end it now.
Sounds like your dad. So then after that, you came back, right?
I came back, rejuvenated. Knowing Amboy, if I just show up there, he's gonna be like, why are you back? And he's gonna kick me out again. So I decided, you know what? I'm just gonna put on a fake mustache. He won't tell the difference. And little does he know, he still doesn't know I'm in town.
Huh.
He just thinks he just thinks the places are under new management.
So who is running second location, Tavoland Pizzeria, and the esports arena while you were gone? Or did you just kind of run by themselves, considering the fact that you are the mayor, and you're hardly around those places anyways? Or you were the mayor, ex-mayor now.
I mean, I'm the owners.
Yeah,
but we also have managers.
Okay, well, who's managing them? I know you said that there's a pig. One of Terumo's boys puts on a costume to look like you to run second location. Who's running the esports arena and the first location?
Well, I got Kisaragi over at the esports arena, kind of.
Which one does Kisaragi work at?
He originally worked at the first location, but I transferred him over to the esports arena.
Okay, so you put him in charge of there in the meantime.
Yeah.
Okay, who's running first location? Or that kind of runs itself at this point.
No, I left Fit Mannequin in charge.
She's at second location. Did you upgrade her to first location now?
Yeah, it was about time she visits the first location.
You know, she played herself in the musical.
Sounds like something she'd do. A very hardworking person.
Yeah, she would take time off of which is weird because she had enough time to play the musical every night while it was playing in Bummerville, but as soon as we moved the show to Czechoslovakia, we had to replace it. They just painted a pig white and put a wig on her. So
They didn't know the difference, did they?
they actually I think Judd. Well, if you know our history, not our history, but this other history that happened that we don't know about, according to Saber. But I guess it's good that she didn't reprise her role in the Czechoslovakian versions, because then Judd would have probably wanted to kidnap her, and make her his wife.
Judd, in a way, he's a lot like old Donkey Kong, kidnapping women, trying to make them into his wife.
That doesn't sound right.
Yeah, and he's throwing barrels at people.
Speaking of which, how does Amboy deal with Jod? I honestly, I know Czechoslovakia is across the border, but I do not see any of that activity there.
From what I hear from some of the boys, Amboy tries to come over to Jod and try to make deals to make Czechoslovakia part of Bumbleville again, by pretty much telling Jod to relinquish all his power. Jod, being Jod, doesn't want to do that because, first of all, that sounds like a dumb idea if I were in his shoes.
Yeah.
So, Amboy just keeps making a bunch of empty threats to Jod.
That makes sense.
But Jod keeps making real threats to him.
Oh, shit.
But out of pure respect, because Jod won't act on him unless Amboy does first. And even then, Jod is prepared. He's got his Black Ops placed ready.
Nice.
And I think out of pure respect Amboy has for Jod's ambition and his whole thing of he took over a section of the town due to finding legal clauses and loopholes.
Yeah.
I think he respects him too much to actually be militant about taking over Czechoslovakia.
Nice.
Either way, what I'm trying to say is that Jod's prepared for a war, and Amboy is threatening one, but he's never going to act on said threats.
Does Jod ever come in contact with you saying, like, hey man, I really miss it when you were in charge. It felt like I had something to, like, fight for. But now that you're not in charge, and Amboy is, it's just like, I actually have to become a real leader to my people.
He sends me letters that I pretend not to get. And then I have one of the boys then I tie a message in a bottle to one of the boys, tell him, go find John and bring this to him. So, John and I have been corresponding through paper mail.
Okay. That's the only way to get mail around this town. Better than mule mail.
Yeah, that mule mail system didn't quite work out. I heard the Pits have taken over as mailmen.
Yeah, but also mule mail didn't work out because Amboy just like, where's the mailman? Why is there a mule here? I fucking hate this. Get rid of all these mules. Just, send them to Mexico or something to be made into piñatas, however that works.
I know he did not like our system of Uber Eats being run by guys on mules either.
Yeah, he pretty much ousted all the mules when you were gone.
That's why. Because I was known for putting a bunch of mules into business and into working jobs. I helped people.
The only mules left are all in Czechoslovakia, which are all used by Jod's military and police force.
Especially the oldest mule being
Clint Eastwood himself. He's still there.
I don't know why Jod doesn't.
Anyway,
I don't know why he doesn't just leave.
Yeah. Well, that pretty much brings us up to speed. We're recording, like I said before, in Tavaland's second location, and yeah, man,
the lunch rush is going on right now, and I can hear the people going down to the salad buffet. Little do they know, I already ate old croutons.
You asshole! What, you gonna put a bunch of old pizza crusts in there instead?
No, I just put some stale bread because that's what croutons technically kind of are.
Well, isn't that what a bunch of old pizza crusts that you crushed up would be?
Yeah,
that's a good way to save money.
And
just dig the crust that people don't eat, like fucking animals, out of the garbage can, crush them up and put them and resell them as croutons.
Although I will say that this dice not only fooled Amboy and his friends and possibly Jod, because I noticed that Jod still thinks I'm out of town, but it's also tricked the Spaghetti Brothers.
Yeah, they're in town. How's that affected your businesses while you were gone?
Sales revenue have lowered a bit, but I've been trying to figure out some strategies to get that back on place. The esports arena has been booming recently.
They've hired. I've been over. I'm not gonna lie. Spaghetti Brothers.
I've also eaten there a few times. They still don't. They don't know it's me.
Look, I'm not gonna lie to you. Their food is pretty mediocre. Like your first review of their food was correct. It's mediocre.
Even if they bring out those Italian grandmas,
it's about the same. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't think those are real Italian grandmas.
No, there's no way they're working for that little pay. They have to be Russian grandmas.
I think they're Slovakian grandmas.
Figured.
It tastes.
Uncle Ted went over there.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna tell you right now. I think it's all for show. I think they're ordering from the local Olive Garden and rebranding.
Well,
it's kind of like I used to take from. I used to get like Victor Victoroli's pizza and resell it as your own. And then they went out of business because they realized like, hey. And then they left, and then they came back as their own super Italian restaurant. Turns out it just rebranded Olive Garden.
Oh, I will say this:
but they do have they have a little Italian guy, who is gondoling around the restaurant on a little gondola on wheels. Unfortunately, he doesn't know how to control it well, so he's knocking waiters down and food out of the way. But he's singing "O Solo Mio" while another guy has a little concertina and is playing. People love that, though. I am not gonna lie. If you have a floor show, no matter how destructive and invasive it is, people will eat that shit up. They love experiences more than they actually like food.
Yeah, why do you think people and kids, especially kids, love going down to my locations?
It's true. I mean, how much money do you make off of quarters off of your shitty Macintosh 2s disguised as like emulators, disguised as
Banks hate me, but my wallet loves me.
Yeah,
that's how much I'm making. I'll tell you that much.
Nice.
I don't know. I make enough to make sure I paid Jason in some of the periods.
Oh yeah, Jason's been in a funk since Friday the 13th came to an end last week.
Yep, he had his day. He had a little bit of fun. Got a little bit too crazy for my taste, but I talked to him and told him like, hey buddy, I'm gonna have to put that as one strike. I know it's your day, but I can't have you go too crazy while you're on duty. If you wanted that day off, you should have told me earlier.
Slash on your own time.
Yeah, you should have slash on company time. I can't really have that going on.
Yeah,
okay?
That's fair.
Whatever he does outside of work is none of my concern. If he wants to go kill some teenagers over by the lake, over by the man-made lake, that's on his time, but not on company time. I can't do that.
Yeah. Well, that does it for town. I guess town updates. Or now that we've caught you up, got a little surprise for you, Tav. I broke into the radio station. Broke into the mailroom. We got one last tape.
I imagine they just let you in, to be honest.
Yeah, I went in there just like, oh, you here for the new job as a mail wolf? And I said, sure. So I've actually been working as a mail wolf. I'm slowly been corrupting and taking over the radio station, one bit at a time. We'll have it in a few weeks. So anyways, here's one final tape that Yoda Gaming sent in.
I haven't heard that name
yeah. So
I wonder how he's doing.
We're about to find out.
So you expose my king for the internet. Really asking for it now, Tab. First I was just going to do a bunch of deadening. Recordings. But now you're really going to pay. Even your uncle had to king shame me. And if I see your uncle, I'll kill him too. What? You that little green bastard? No, wait. Put my stomach. Harassing mommy. You do son gun.
Oh, shit.
Oh, no.
What's this, huh? Oh, this little bastard was recording another thing. Hey, Deb, you ever hear this one? I took care of this little bastard, whatever he was. I think he was like some Mexican mole. He's out of here. He's done. Alright, gotta pull down your pants. No, come on. Here, this one. What are you doing?
I think he's dead.
I can't believe my uncle killed him. Again.
Huh.
Well, at least that's taken care of. I guess we'll never see him ever again.
I didn't know you can kill tulpas by just being a badass, but your uncle did it.
Like he's told you before, and I've heard the stories many times. You know, he was a paranormal investigator back in the late '80s or something like that. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, the timelines are all fucked. So we're gonna take a break, do ads, and we'll be back.
Have you been missing pizza in Bumblerville? Has all those other places just been cardboard? Huh? Well, come on down to Tavoland locations 1 and 2 under new management. I'm making sure, me, Bob Johnson, the new manager of Tavoland Pizzerias, I'm making sure I'm bringing in actual fresh ingredients. Pizza dough made in-house. Tomato cans made in-house. The cans, not the sauce. And pepperoni aged in Trumo's backyard. Come on down, have a slice, bring the family, bring your wife or your husband, bring yourself, and bring your dog. That's it. We welcome all dogs and wolfmen. Anybody's allowed in town. And you come on down to the first 2 weeks we're open, I'll take off 10% from your first meal if you mention this ad you heard in the radio station. Thank you.
Look, we know that pizzeria's back in town. We know Tav is back in town. I don't know how to prove it yet, but this Bob Johnson guy, he looks like a real character, alright? Doesn't look real to me. Right, Eddie? Yeah. So this is what we're gonna do. If you hear this ad, you hear his ad, 20% off your first order of breadsticks. I guarantee it. These are real breadsticks that were not coming in frozen. We're not stealing from Olive Garden. Don't believe what you hear. Don't believe what you hear. Look, people in town, and this Bob Johnson fella, they're saying that we're Olive Garden. That's not true. We're not Olive Garden. We didn't steal an Olive Garden and rebrand it as our own original Italian place. We got real Italian ladies. They're not from Russia. They're not from Czechoslovakia. Ready? Yeah. So please, come in. I guarantee it, real Italian food. Once in a lifetime, a real musical comes along. One about a young man and his urinary infection and depression problems, battling his brother, a revolutionary who wants to make his people rise up and not be taken to slaughterhouse, all while trying to balance a love affair with a thick mannequin. Taruma the Musical. Come see it at Slonchenvakian Jod Theater, the Jod Amphitheater, and the Little Comedy Club, aka Jod's Comedy Store. We guarantee you'll have laughs, you'll have cries, you'll be giving a standing ovation. Taruma the Musical, playing in all theater locations in Slonchenvakia.
And we're back. So, look, we didn't really plan on coming back. I thought Tav was gonna be just probably died or something. I'm not gonna lie, Tav, I thought you were gonna be dead.
I thought so too.
But
I didn't realize that Amboy was so incompetent enough to not kill his worst enemy.
Well, you didn't kill him either.
Yeah, that's just I thought he could change.
You thought wrong. But look, we didn't really plan on coming back, but we decided to come back. And actually, it was good that we did because we have a whole bunch of messages and questions that people asked when we were gone. They thought they could still write into the show. Turns out they were right because all that fucking fan mail just piled up. Again, me as the new mail wolf was able to just swoop in, just like, guys, there's a bunch of mail for this old podcast that used to be here, and they're like, I'll throw it out. Who cares? Anyways, up next on the radio, another song from my favorite album, GTA 4, the album. Go ahead, Jerry. So yeah, in the midst of that, I found all these old messages. Tav, will you read them out loud?
Yeah, I got a message already.
All right.
Dear Tav and Lycan, I've been having problems with my lower intestine.
Yeah.
Oh man! And for some reason, it's starting to come out a little bit red with mixes of green in it. I don't know what I'm eating, but all I eat nowadays is superfood powder and rice. So, what can you guys help me with my diet?
Go to a doctor. The end. All right. Any more?
Yeah, I got a message.
All right, let's read it.
Dear Tagface, what's your opinion on Filthy Frank quitting? I feel like he really left a hole in the YouTube community. It feels like there's just no more good edgy content being produced. iDubbbz has chilled out, and while I still love his videos, they're not the same. H3 has fallen from grace, and he showed his true colors. Channels like Leafy, which were cancerous, have since died, and YouTube as a whole is struggling for me. I feel like I'm just watching these soulless reviews constantly. I found some solace in channels like Jenny's Garage because he's generally entertaining, but the average person doesn't like mopeds.
A lot to unpack there. I feel like we've touched on those subjects a lot before, but here's the thing. A lot of YouTube, at least that comes up in my recommendations and stuff, are a lot of soulless reviews. That's why I have such a low opinion on the animation review community, because they review the same 5 cartoons, and then if someone reviews a bad one, everybody jumps on it to give their 5 cents about it.
Yeah, for example, people actually believe that TaviRadio weird Maya animation projects are actual films.
Yeah, those aren't real movies. They're not. Like President's Corgi, look, we know you're messing around with Blender and Maya, and you're making these things to, the last real review that you did was your most recent one, dude, which is Once Upon a Girl. You're reviewing fucking porn now. You've run out of shit to do. Because you don't want to tackle the good shit.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know I was watching the animation version of the Cinema Snob.
Yeah, I know, right? Or Brandon Tenold. Fucking, they probably did better reviews of it. But they probably put more effort into their reviews about Once Upon a Girl than this dude has, which is probably just this is a porn, and there's a lot of stuff that's going on, and oh god, I can't believe somebody made this. There's plenty of animation porn out there, and you shouldn't be watching it because you have no taste for it. Anyway, sorry. I had to go on a diatribe, but that dude gets me.
You know what? Instead of reviewing stuff, I want to know about the stuff that's just really weird to find. Like, you told me about this one channel, where they find old anime that's just forgotten.
Yeah, Kenny Lauderdale. He's a guy who's going through VHS and Laserdiscs to find weird imports and stuff. It's great. I love his stuff.
But no, if I want to hear someone talking about animated porn, I want to hear someone try to find the lost LA Blue Girl dub.
There you go. The other thing is, I need context for the other stuff to have. I agree with the soulless review stuff, which is, again, why I watch compilations of old commercials, because they're hilarious. And 2, I feel nostalgic. It's the worst. Look, nostalgia is the worst emotion you can have. But sometimes, like doing crack cocaine, you gotta do crack cocaine, and you gotta do nostalgia.
I can agree with that.
Yeah. Go ahead, Tav. So, give me context about Filthy Frank, which I feel is old news.
I don't know. This letter isn't that old. It was actually mailed in pretty recently, from what I can tell from the age of it, and it's not dusty as the pile over there.
Yeah.
But Filthy Frank quitting YouTube is not old news. If anything, maybe...
Or not new news.
Filthy Frank quitting YouTube is not new news. It's something that happened 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It's more or less just him wanting to focus on a music career, which I'll respect and I do appreciate.
Yeah, I think that's respectable. Him quitting YouTube, dude, eventually you get tired of doing the same thing. I like that he's decided to focus more on his music, whatever that your opinion on that may be.
I think so.
iDubbbz changing, I don't know if I think him getting less edgy goes along with probably him being less comfortable with being that edgy guy and probably wanting to broaden his appeal. Look. Or what's your opinion on iDubbbz's content changing?
When I used to listen to the H3 podcast, which was back when they were only in the single digit episodes. Yeah. They had iDubbbz on once, and he said it's really easy to talk shit about someone online. Yeah. But meeting them in person is a whole different ballgame, and I think him going to a VidCon and meeting someone one of the Fine brothers after he just talked mad shit about them.
Oh, if that were me,
I think it humbled him and he's changed for the better.
No, that's because he's a big pussy boy. Look, if it were me, if I did that shit and I met one of the Fine brothers, they have fucking more money than you can throw at. They're not if they're gonna take what people say about their content so seriously, like iDubbbz did, and then not stick to their guns when they meet them. Like they can, I think they can handle taking a few shots. If that were me and I'm at the Fine Brothers, I would be like, I stand by what I said. I think you know what? While you're here, I'm gonna tell you right now, straight up, how I feel about your content. And this is just one creator talking to another creator, dude. Like this is my problem with your stuff, and you take that as do with it what you will.
And here's the thing about YouTube with that mentality. I wish more people thought like that, where content creators would talk to each other about giving each other pretty much harsh criticism.
Okay. Look,
at the same time, we all need to hear it.
We all need to hear it because everybody like was walking like over eggshells. I mean, at least the people who have like no who are trying to wheel and deal. Like, look, the people who are not afraid to speak their mind, as kind of garbage person most of them are. I'm kind of glad that those people exist to have like to be kind of the checks and balances of like YouTube. I'm glad that there are people who are making those angry call out posts on like people they hate on YouTube, because I think that's like. But they're speaking truth. They're speaking truth, and I'm glad people like that still exist. But also, I think the people who go back on what they say with stuff like that are doing it because they don't want to lose a business opportunity on YouTube. Like, I think iDubbbz, I think with iDubbbz, I think it's less like, oh, you know, I want to, like, if I work with them in the future, I don't want to sour that, like, melon patch or whatever. It's more like, I talk shit, I talk a big game when I'm not face to face with somebody, but when I meet them in person, suddenly my real life anxieties kick in, and I'm not that cool, like, true speaker that I was on my video. Now I'm actually meeting the person. Now I feel bad. If that were me, I'm like, I said what I said, and I stick to what I said. You guys,
I just don't like when some YouTubers just like, if you criticize one of them, they're just like, bro, do you want to box me, huh? Do you want to fight me? I'm tired of this. I'm tired of talking shit. We're gonna have to do this like men, like a bunch of fucking apes. We gotta box each other.
And then that's when you say, so you want me to fly over to where you're at to fight and prove what?
Nothing.
Yeah. Oh wow, you beat me up. That still isn't gonna make me take down my videos.
But here's the thing, it's mentality like that, and because they have such a following of people that are willing to like stand by anything they almost say, pretty much almost anything they say.
Yeah.
If they challenge Ed's person, say for example, you just talked shit about Saberspark and his Weird Maya project, you know?
Yeah.
Obviously he's proud of them. You know what? What if he hears this and he's like, "That's it, Legend Jones. I'll challenge you to a boxing match."
Oh yeah, Saberspark is gonna challenge me, a werewolf, to a boxing match. Oh yeah, I'm so scared, dude. I don't think he leaves his house.
Well, but if his personal trainer is Kanye West.
Oh, now I'm really afraid. You're gonna fight in those Yeezy boxers? You look like a homeless boxing match. No, okay. But
okay, but let's just say Saberspark was a more intimidating person.
Okay, let's drop the Saberspark thing.
All right, let's say it's
No, but what I'm trying to say is like,
let's say John's a YouTuber. He's like, "That's it, Lycan. I'm tired of you talking shit about my content." Actually, no, he wouldn't do that. He likes you too much. All right.
look. Let's just get back on track of this. Like, what I'm trying to say is that, like, all right, let me ask you this: is Keemstar the only guy who like doesn't back down from when he talks shit about people, or does he also like backtrack on his stuff?
He backtracks sometimes, and that's when the facts are brought to the table.
Okay, if that's the case, then I think that's fine. But like when he does criticism stuff, like when he actually like says like, I don't know, like am I confusing Keemstar's like behavior with something else?
No, but I'm more or less kind of like talking about how,
because like it makes me think of like when he used to, back in the day, when he used to get into arguments and like bring people like he's like feuding with
on a
show, and then like actually just like confront them for real. Look, I don't like Keemstar as a person, but the fact that he would do stuff like that, like, I respect that, because you're not backing down from your opinion. I think that just comes from being like a big asshole like streamer. Like back when he used to be DJ Killer Keemstar, and he used to play all those like first-person shooters. I think that attitude is what separates him from most people. Like, well, I mean, it's also why like drama like alert has been going on so long. I mean, well, first because he's keeping up on all the stupid drama, but like whenever he has to confront somebody and tell them like how it is, like I do like that he's willing to do that, even though he does backtrack on everything he says. I mean,
but he backtracked.
Hold on, has Keemstar backtracked on the Pro Jared situation?
No. Oh, if you agree with Pro Jared, fuck you.
Yeah, he did it. Come on.
No, I didn't. They didn't say she was. She didn't say she was under 18.
Look, if she's 18,
how was I supposed to know?
Because you're an adult. That's your fucking job.
God, fuck.
Let's not talk. I don't want to talk about this because it's just something that makes me mad.
47 minutes. All that.
You've been lied to.
All that for a drop of cum.
Yeah, well, if you've seen his dick, that's all he can make.
This fucking weird mushroom ass piece of shit.
Anyways.
Sailor Mercury ruining it.
Yeah. Anyways, so the thing about like.
Yeah, we dick.
Anyways, so the crazy thing about all that though is like I said, I do think. Like, I think his content's changed, I think, just because I think he's trying to, like, widen his appeal, you know? I think he's trying to be less abrasive and edgy, and I think the fact that he feels like he can't make fun of people as much anymore, just goes to, like, the fact that, like, he had to change his content up, you know?
I think that part of the reason why I liked his new, like, our documentary thing of Full Force was because, you said it best, you know he came down there to goof on them.
Yeah.
And then he got humbled by these people.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, because I think it's like what he was said on that on the HCHC podcast. Like when you make fun of somebody on the internet, it's one thing, but when you meet them in person, it's another thing. And I think he went down there to like try to be all edgy and shit, and then he ended up like being like befriended by these guys. And I think that's what happens. I think like if you show up to like make fun of somebody and make like a goofy documentary about them. Also, if you make a documentary on YouTube, do not put the word documentary in your title.
Yeah, I like how it was just literally released the video and just told it full.
That's how it's supposed to be. Nobody releases a fucking documentary into the theaters or on like a streaming platform with the word documentary in the title. Come on, guys. Learn how to title your fucking shit.
No, but in reality, Ida's new content, especially the whole documentary on Airsoft Fatty Full Force, was it was a really entertaining watch for me personally.
That's good. I'm glad.
I love his ending line where he says, "Some people have demons, other people have fats." But is he cringe because he likes does he enjoys putting the content out and and he has no shame in it?
No. Who knows? I like the squirrel videos more.
Oh yeah, that's fair. That's funny.
That ongoing saga is my favorite thing. What did H3 do in terms of like?
Just like
reveal his true colors. What does that mean? I stopped caring about his stuff after he pretty much started doing the podcast.
Oh, he can be pretty snaky. He's a snake.
Well, at least I mean, for a snake though, I'm glad he's not backing down on the Pro Jared thing.
Oh no! If it's anything I can give Ethan credit for.
Well, also he's a dad now, so like, what person who is a father is going to like support the pervert?
Exactly. That's why Keemstar didn't also back down from that too.
Well, he's a dad.
Parents of YouTube that have channels, I'm glad you guys are not like, yeah, maybe Pro Jared's right. I'm ashamed that people close to my age are like, guys, Pro Jared deserves to be heard out. Maybe he is right. He is right.
Why do we want to hear the side of that dude?
It's like I read a headline recently saying, Harvey Weinstein can't be Harvey Weinstein anymore. His life is ruined. I'm like, oh, the rapist is having a bad day, huh?
Oh, he's suffering in jail. Oh, no.
It's like when Jared from Subway got beat up.
Oh, wow, the kid diddler got beat up. What a shame.
See, this is why I believe that Derek Acosta from Magic 64 is the real Jared. The guy who got skinny from eating all the sandwiches.
Yeah. And why Rocco Bodie is the real Dog the Bounty Hunter, not the racist guy.
No, that was Garrett Hunter.
Anyways, so what was the other thing on the what was the last thing on there? Outside of the, let's see,
he talked about how
I don't know what Jenny's Garage is. I'm sorry.
I guess Jenny's Garage is a channel about mopeds.
I like mopeds. I'll watch that then.
Oh, and he also says, ever since channels like Leafy, which were cancerous, died, it's also been a struggle for him. I'm glad Leafy's gone. We have not heard from him in years, and
Pyrocynical's still around. Watch that guy.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, I don't watch his stuff, but
he made a video about him because he's been goofing on this one kid named Mords or something.
Yeah.
And he recently had like this weird convention thing, and Pyrocynical made a video about him trying to get in there just so he can goof on it in person. But here's what actually happened. Mords banned him from specifically going into the convention by putting a clause saying a parent cannot show, or someone over the age of 18 cannot show up without a child. It's like Legoland. You can't go to Legoland unless you have a child with you.
That's fair, because some people have, like, I've heard some people say they go to Legoland without kids.
Oh. But yeah, I remember that used to be a big thing too.
Huh.
So yeah,
I think with Chuck E. Cheese, it's a different thing. You have to bring a kid in there. But with Legoland, you can go to Legoland without a kid. I think it's not as fun without a kid because, you know, like, you have to really like Legos to enjoy Legoland.
But what do you think about the fact that this guy was aware that...
Clean ladies in here.
This guy was aware that someone like Pyrocynical would try to show up to his event, possibly buy the highest price of the VIP package, and then at the last minute, his tickets are canceled. And it's not like he faked it. He showed the email saying that the tickets were canceled by the venue like an hour before he was actually going to go to the thing. And then security literally kicked him out. Told him he couldn't be there. He was blacklisted from showing up.
That's weird.
I find it funny, though.
It's funny, but it's also like, man, what the frick?
But yeah, I appreciate that video, and I rarely watch his content ever in general, because it's mostly just kind of the same stuff. All these faux commentary channels now, because they're getting away from all that, I guess. They all
I
mesh
think
together.
with stuff like that, you know, like, you can only do it for so long, man. Like, I'm shocked that they lasted this long.
I'm shocked that they're still
like
growing.
That's why, like, H3 has to, like, do different shit now. That's why he has to do the podcast, because it's like, one, eventually the channels that you make fun of start, like, fighting back, because just like, dude, what the fuck? We're just trying to, like, do our thing here, and you think it's cool to goof on us.
Also,
like, to goof on smaller channels that are trying their best that make you cringe, I think is, like, uncalled for, because they're trying their best. To goof on a big channel with lots of following that make you cringe and are engaging in bad behavior,
that's fine.
That's fine, because you're punching up.
But at the same time,
don't punch down, you punch up.
At the same time, H3 has now become a big channel where if they hit when they were a little channel, their content was way better, because sometimes, you know, they're goofy on a bigger channel, but sometimes the bigger channel never hear about them.
Yeah.
And then if the bigger channel did hear about them, it's an interesting thing of, like, an interesting contrast, you know?
Yeah.
But now when he's arguably bigger than the bigger channels used to make fun of, like Joey Salads or something,
yeah,
then he's technically punching down now.
Yeah.
He can't make fun of the channels anymore. So what does he do now? Make fun of people on TLC.
I guess, but, like,
this guy's in love with his car. Now look at this loser. This loser. He's in love with his car. Oh, his dad's ashamed of him. I'm a kid now.
Bruh, you're pretty, so you're making videos that perfectly you're making videos that pretty much exemplify the stuff people do when they actually watch this stuff on TV.
Yeah.
You're out of ideas, huh? Or you're out of targets.
Yeah.
Because you can't punch up anymore. You're on the same level.
Also, this is just a personal gripe. I don't like when influencers online talk about their political views, because that oftentimes can either be for the good or the worst.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, if they're like,
they have a platform, and I can't silence them. But at the same time, you know.
But also, like, for me, it's just like, okay, well, like, now I have to make a choice. Do I continue to support this person?
Do I say okay, boomer, or
do I say
okay,
Well, do I say okay boomer or do I say okay millennial? You know. Yeah.
All right, guys. Question of the week. The question of the podcast is: Lightning Jones a boomer?
Yeah. Am I a boomer or am I a millennial? Yeah. Forget don't
Is
even
Lightning
count.
Jones a boomer or a doomer?
Yeah. Am I a boomer or doomer? Write in your responses. Do we got any more questions or comments that were? That's the only letter I could sneak in.
I put out a tweet saying, "What do you guys expect from the new season of Saturday AM?" To which then 3 people responded, 2 of them being Saber and Turumo. Actually, all 3 being Saber, Turumo, and Dane Ginneruni.
All right.
Or Dane Ginneruni now. Dan Ginneruni. What the heck?
Tell us how to pronounce your name, man.
You better, or else I'm going to kick your ass. And I know you listen to this right now. Anyway, Turumo demands more Turumo. We talked about his musical a lot. So
All right.
Yeah. Saber says
check
more,
that off the list.
Saber says more lore.
We talked about what happened.
And now he says, and Dane Ginneruni actually says, future content discussion, next-gen consoles, and maybe online animation.
Future content discussion, that means we want to talk about our future projects, right?
Yeah, I don't know. All
Well-
I can say is that both of us have stuff coming down the pipeline.
Yeah, we do, but like, I don't like, the reason I don't like talking about it so much is because if I'm working on it, like,
Working on.
if I'm working on it, I'm okay. But then it just feels like I'm always talking about... Like, I don't want to be one of those people who are always talking about stuff that they're working on and then it never comes out or it comes out forever. Because it annoys... Look, it annoys me when people I follow do that.
I did that with the Steven Universe test.
Yes. Like, it annoys me when when people I follow do it. Because then I give up. And then I move on. And to people who never, or like, it's also the reason why if I do follow somebody, I don't follow them on anything but the platform I'm watching their stuff on because I do not want to hear them constantly talk about how they're working on it.
You're like Milhouse from that Simpsons episode. When are you going to get to the Fireforce factory?
Yeah.
When are you going to put out this video?
No, that's what happened. I thought you were watching. I did watch all of it. First there was a creaking, and then it fell down. Huh. I wonder what's going to happen to the rats then. All right, everybody, tuck your pants into your socks.
And now he wants to talk about next-gen consoles. He's mentioned to me on Twitter about how he plans on getting a PlayStation 5. I don't believe in the PlayStation 5. I'm going to make fun of PlayStation 5 truthers.
Dude, you're now in cahoots. As far as I am concerned, you're now in cahoots.
With Anboy.
With Anboy, because he also believes in this stuff.
He thinks that just because...
I mean, it's coming. Look, it's coming down the pipeline. We know it is. All right, that's what. Like none of these consoles can last forever. All right, they're not. We're not gonna have
try with the PS3 and Xbox 360 era.
They did. They tried their hardest, but guess what? We're beyond that. Like,
I mean, PC is the most dead, and that's because you can just upgrade hardware yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, this game requires a new graphics card. Fine, let me go buy one real quick and install it to my PC.
Or unless you're Nintendo, which you're pumping out one every two or 3 years because the last one didn't work as well. The Wii lasted for a long time.
The Wii lasted a long time. The Wii U lasted very shortly. DS lasted forever.
Yes.
The DS is still being supported through the 3DS.
But there's no new games for it because I think they're moving all their handheld stuff to the Switch and the Switch Lite.
Which is fair. And then Switch
Lite. Okay, 2 years into the Switch's lifespan, and they're pretty much saying, look, we know the DS. Look, we're not upgrading the DS anymore. We're not even. All the new games are all third-party games. That's because Switch Lite's coming out. That's going to be your new DS.
I mean, in general, the Switch is just portable anyway.
Yeah. Honestly, there's no point in having a console that works as a portable thing and also have your own, like, portable games. So.
Now, if Nintendo can listen to my wish list of Switch and DS ports, I would want on the Switch platform.
Why isn't Earthbound in the SNES Classic Online, guys?
Give it next month, Lycan. Come on.
All right, fine. I have been playing Pilot Wings on that thing, though.
You've been trying to get your license.
Yes! They told me that if I beat this game, I can go to the Nintendo of America, talk to Doug Bowser, and I can get my real pilot's license from him.
Oh, here's a hot topic. What do you think about Reggie Fils-Aimé, former president of Nintendo, going to be teaching at Cornell University?
I'll take his class. What's he teaching?
We don't know yet.
All right.
But if he doesn't end this class, like, all right, guys, I gotta go. I gotta play Animal Crossing, my new 3DS.
Always the hustler. While eating a delicious Pizza Hut. Okay, so future content, we covered that. We're working on stuff. Tav, I think you're trying to make a documentary about your beloved uncle, right?
Yep, guys, I'm here to announce that I'm working on a documentary based around my uncle, because everybody loves Uncle TaviRadio Funkle.
Yeah. So that's coming down the pipeline. I've got something I'm working on. You'll see it. I don't like making promises, but there's something coming up. Just I'll leave it at that. It's more Barf Star.
I learned, anything I learned about promoting that stupid Steven Universe essay review thing except for what? So many episodes of the podcast that I'm going to quit doing that, and I'm just going to say, I got stuff I'm working on, stuff in the similar vein.
That's why we need a soundboard, so we can use that sound clip. I'm working on it. We need a soundboard.
Yeah, I'm working on stuff, interesting things that interest me, maybe interest you. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not your dad.
And then online animation. I guess we talked about Saber Spark. I don't know, man. There's I don't watch a lot of. There's not a lot of animators I watch anymore because a lot of them feel the same.
Oh no!
It's all. I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Edgy humor has just all become.
Cass Vandepol is very fun. I'd like his stuff. He's fun.
Oh, don't forget Terminal Montage. He's funny.
He's fun too.
I love his lore.
Yeah. I like it. Yeah, the secret lore and all of his games, all of his parody stuff is great. But yeah, man, I don't know. I'm trying to find new animators to get me excited. If you want some good animation recently, the Band Geeks Every Animated thing is great. Watch that.
Oh, by the way, people, if you want, don't send Lycan Jones anything that's already done. If there's a help wanted for animators for a collaboration thing, send it to us right away.
I think what happened was help wanted. I think they confused it as an ad. It was the episode Help Wanted of SpongeBob.
Thanks, Truman, you stupid fucking pig. I can't. This is why swine are in.
Seriously, Saber, find out if all
That was
sapient.
Truman.
No, I'm asking Saber.
Oh.
Seriously, Saber, go back in time and find out if all sapient pigs are descendants from those pigs that Jesus put demon souls into after he expelled them out of that one dude. Anyways, thanks for listening to TaviRadio Set AM. We gotta go talk to Jason. He decided to start working on cleaning up the back room and the office while we were recording. He's hard to talk to. So
I don't know if he agrees with me or if this agrees with me.
Anyways,
He's a hard worker, other than that.
yeah. So, see ya.
What do I want to be?